The Ohio Bobcats came into tonight's game against the Ohio State Buckeyes with high hopes of taking down the Big Ten power. However, could not get it done in regulation or in overtime and went to a shootout with a heartbreaking last shot loss to the Buckeyes and fell 3-2 at Pruitt Field. The Bobcats had a lot of opportunities on goal, but were unable to capitalize on them.
As the game developed, we got unlucky. They got a little bit lucky staying in the game, especially with that post in the second overtime. But we rely on our fitness a lot, and I think at the end of the game that starts to show. So we don't mind getting into games like this, but the one key that we need to address is finishing. We didn't have enough opportunities from the possession that we had at their end.
Bobcat goalkeeper Brittany Walker put in a stellar performance for Ohio. She was constantly making saves and kept the Bobcats in the game at crucial times.
We had great opportunities, but I guess it just came down to we weren't putting it back in the net, but I thought we played amazingly, and it's sad that we had to go down to a shootout.
Coming out of half, the score was still tied 0-0, but both teams continued to push for the breakthrough. Ohio's conditioning showed as they began to pull away from Ohio State and create a lot more opportunities. However, the Bobcats weren't unable to capitalize on those opportunities, and the game went to overtime, where things really got kicked up a notch. Both teams were struggling to find the breakthrough, and neither team could get a goal. But the game would go to penalty shots, where teams would trade back-to-back goals and eventually get leveled out at 2 with both teams missing a shot. Ohio had missed one of theirs, and Brittany Walker, the freshman sensation, had saved one for the Bobcats. Finally came down to the last shot, in which Ohio State was able to score and win the game 3-2 on penalty shots.
My goal is to always force them to a side, and the last one, she just faked it over top of the ball, and I overcommitted. So I think you just learn it, and each player is different, so it's all going to depend on the situation. But I think we all handle it pretty well, and as a team, I think even though we lost, we all know we worked really hard.
Ohio returns to action this Saturday, back at home at Pruitt Field. For the Bobcat Sports Showcase, I'm Tyler Rosten.